It's a new season for the Green Jumper Pod, and coming up in the first episode of the latest series is an exclusive interview with one of the best-known political figures in the UK. A man who supported the same team as Cloughie when it came to football, but was on the opposite side when it came to politics.
I'm telling you, if he's coming on, give him my love.
It's Lord Clarke, the former MP, Home Secretary and Chancellor Ken Clarke.
My ranking as the best football manager the country has seen, certainly since the war.
He'll talk about the time he intervened to help Brian sign a foreign player after a standard Home Office letter said Cloughie would have to advertise the vacancy in the local paper.
Yeah, and Brian did get me in once, and he got some Scandinavian player who he wanted. I was at the Home Office. I was Home Secretary. He had to apply to the Home Office, and he hadn't filled it in properly. So this player was going to be probably had left midfield, but he got a standard letter back from the Home Office. A girl who was working her first day as a civil servant or in this department sent him the standard letter you could get if you just said, "Can I employ a Swede?" And he said, "Dear Mr. Clough, thank you for your application. I'm afraid you will have to satisfy us that this vacancy could not be filled by any British applicant. Best evidence you can give us will be to advertise the job 3 times in your local newspaper. And if you're unable to get a British applicant, then apply to us again." So Brian, I think I went to see him at the ground, and he was carrying on a story, so Miss whatever her name was saying that he should fill his vital role at left midfield by getting some unemployed lad who answered a small ad in the Nottingham Evening Post and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And I calmed him down and explained that he should have made it rather clearer that this was, the person getting it. In fact, this Scandinavian had played. You could get a work permit for a footballer if he was of international standard. And this Swede, I think he was, had played 2 or 3 times for Sweden. So I managed to sort out Brian's work permit by getting it referred to somebody in the Home Office once he made more clear who the person was you were getting in and why there were grounds for a work permit.
We also talk about whether Cloughie could have become an MP and what kind of England manager he'd have been.
I think he was a very good contender for England manager. Again, there was the problem as to which players would react properly to his extremely aggressive style, whether that would have worked with some of the more sensitive ones. I'm afraid it's perfectly clear that I think the England authorities then, you had to be a bit of a public figure. You had to be able to handle sort of public appearances and so on. And they thought Brian was a bit too rugged and would, cause constant sensations with the press with the things he said. And I think that's the reason he was never appointed.
Lord Clarke also tells me what happened when Cloughie held protests outside his constituency office when the then Rushcliffe MP was trying to hold his Saturday morning surgeries. That's a tale not to be missed. As well as all that, the first episode of the new season will also mark the 21st anniversary of the tribute website brianclough.com. We'll be turning the clock back to some of the media coverage from that launch day in August 2000.
It's Radio Sheffield's breakfast, 19 minutes to 9.
Now, mad or what? Marcus Alton, not only is he daft enough to work for the BBC, he's also absolutely crazy about Brian Clough, so much so that he has set up a website. Marcus joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
What makes him so great then, Cloughie?
Well, he's just a fantastic figure, isn't he? He's a legend not only in Britain but around the world for his achievements at Nottingham Forest and Derby County.
Sports and a Nottinghamshire man is proving he's Brian Clough's biggest fan by launching a website dedicated to his hero. Marcus Alton from Redford's created BrianClough.com as a tribute to the former Nottingham Forest and Derby County manager.
This is The Breakfast Show on BBC Radio Nottingham. I'm Tim Wedgwood. Now, you either love him or hate him, but one thing's for certain, Brian Clough has many fans out there. But one of our staff here at BBC Radio Nottingham is so mad on the former Forest manager that he set up a website dedicated to the great man himself. I think he wrote that bit. When season ticket holder Marcus Alton discovered there was no website dedicated to the former Reds boss, he decided to take it upon himself to set one up. Now, months later, the site is finally up and running at brianclough.com.
First though, as I said, a former Radio Derby reporter has opened his own website dedicated to the former Derby County manager Brian Clough. Marcus Alton, who now lives in Nottingham, decided to set up the site when he realised there was nothing on the net for dedicated Cloughie fans like himself. Now, it's called brianclough.com. It's unveiled, as it should be, really. It's unveiled today, and Marcus joins me now. Morning.
Good morning.
Now, we all know, having worked with you, that you are a real Brian Clough nut. I'm amazed there's been nothing on the internet about it.
I was astonished, really, that there was no dedicated website for fans to visit. There are odd pages on other sites, but there's no sort of complete dedicated site as a tribute where people can send their own emails as a tribute with latest news on what he's up to and what he's saying. So I thought I'd go ahead myself.
Did you have any experience creating websites before this?
Not really, no. It was all completely new to me. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I didn't know much about the internet at all. You could say I didn't know a home page from a hyperlink.
Right.
But it's been worth persevering because I'm really pleased with the result.
If you don't see me after half time, it means you've been bloody rubbish. And if you're not rubbish today, that'll be a change. I'm only kidding.
So, I hope you can join me for the first episode of the new season when we'll have more memories of the great man in the green jumper.